all about sunflower production. The iconic yellow petals and fuzzy brown centers of sunflowers are actually individual flowers themselves. That means that each sunflower is actually thousands of teeny flowers making up the classic sunflower bloom. There are about 70 species of sunflowers. Their genus name is Helianthus, which comes from the Greek words for sun and flower. While many varieties look bright and cheery, their shapes can be quite different. For instance, some sunflowers look like yellow puffballs. In their bud phase, sunflowers will actually seek out and face the sun. This trait is called heliotropism. Sunflower is a crop which, compared to other crops, performs well under drought conditions. This is probably the main reason for the crop's popularity in the marginal areas of South Africa. Unfortunately, the crop is particularly sensitive to high soil temperatures during emergence, and it is especially in the sandy soil. A shortage of water is the main factor limiting crop production. It is important that the available water is used to the best advantage. Especially in more arid areas, it is essential that as much water as possible be stored in the soil profile before planting, to limit the chance of failure. The sunflower plant has a deep and finely branched taproot system which can utilize water from deep soil layers, even deeper than 2 meters. Consequently, the crop often performs well even during a dry season, especially in deeper soils or in soils with a water table. Because of its unique water use pattern and root system, shallow soils and other duplex soils are also suitable for the cultivation of sunflower. Sunflower is capable of utilizing water from the clay horizons of these soils. The potential for high yields on these soils is, however, limited. Sunflower is very sensitive to wind damage in the seedling stage, and for this reason, cultivation on light-textured soils susceptible to wind erosion should be avoided unless wind erosion is being combated successfully. Sunflower is very sensitive to waterlogging. Sunflower is extremely sensitive to high aluminium levels and should not be planted in soils with a lower than 4.6. From a management point of view, it is essential to make a reliable assessment of the yield potential, with effective planning in mind. Plant density, cultivar and especially the fertilization program cannot be planned unless yield potential has been accurately determined. A correct and uniform plant density with sunflower is the basis of a good yield. Although the plant is able to compensate by head size and number of seeds per head, a very low plant density of less than 20,000 plants per hectare often limits yield. At a low plant density, heads are forming which are too large, dry out unevenly and eventually impair the harvesting process. Large heads also have serious seed setting problems. High densities of 55,000 plants per hectare and more cause a higher occurrence of lodging, which should be avoided. Plant densities higher than 30,000 plants per hectare should be avoided at soil yield potentials of below 1,200 kg per hectare as a result of the high rate of water use often causes water stress, leading to poor yield or often crop failure. Sunflower seeds are planted at relatively shallow depths. In soil with a high clay content, seeds are planted at a depth of 25 mm. In sandy soils, seeds can be planted at a depth of up to 50 mm. For the planting process, the importance of a good planter cannot be overemphasized. To plant sunflower, a planter should be able to space seeds evenly, it should have a good depth control mechanism and should be equipped with press wheels. Good contact between the seed and the soil is essential. To achieve this, the use of press wheels is necessary. During germination, however, sunflower plants are particularly sensitive to compacted soil, which means that press wheels should only exercise light pressure on the soil to avoid compaction. Efficient weed control is a prerequisite for high sunflower yields. It is achieved by a combination of mechanical and chemical practices. Young plants are very sensitive to strong weed competition and cannot develop fast enough to form a full shade covering which can suppress weed seedlings. Therefore, the first 6 weeks after planting are a critical period for the crop. Yield can be increased significantly by keeping fields free of weeds during this time. Harvesting should commence as soon as 80% of the sunflower heads are brown in order to minimize losses caused by birds, lodging and shattering. Please do not forget to subscribe and like. Also please hit the bell below.